Welcome to Documentary Box. In today's episode, we're taking you on an incredible journey to one of the most remote and mysterious places on Earth, Greenland. This episode is titled Greenland, the giant island where women do strange things to men. Our travel documentary dives into the captivating traditions, stunning landscapes, and fascinating cultural practices of Greenland that have puzzled travelers for centuries. As we explore this icy paradise, we'll take a closer look at the customs that shape the lives of the Inuit people, especially the roles and relationships between men and women in this harsh environment. Have you ever wondered how culture and survival are connected in one of the world's most extreme climates? Stick around as we uncover the secrets of Greenland together. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments what surprises you most about Greenland. Number 1. The origin of Greenland's name, a medieval marketing strategy. Let's start with Greenland's name. You might expect a place called Greenland to be, well, green. But here's the surprise: over 80% of Greenland is actually covered in ice. So where did the name come from? It's all thanks to a Norwegian explorer named Erik the Red, who had a bit of a controversial reputation. After being banished from Iceland for murder, Erik needed to persuade people to follow him to the new land he had discovered in the 10th century. To make it sound appealing, he named it Greenland, suggesting it was a lush, fertile paradise. Surprisingly, back then, parts of Greenland were green due to a warmer climate. This clever bit of medieval marketing worked, although today the reality is much colder and icier. As we look back at Greenland's history, what stands out is the resilience of its people. The climate has changed a lot since Erik's time, and as temperatures dropped, the Greenlanders had to adjust to some extremely tough conditions. While the name may be misleading, it serves as a reminder of the island's fascinating past and the enduring strength of its people. Number 2. Wife swapping among the Inuit, a tradition of social bonds. Now, here's something that might surprise you: wife swapping among the Inuit people of Greenland. This tradition may sound shocking, but it is deeply rooted in their culture. For the Inuit, this practice was about more than just marriage. It was a way of strengthening social bonds, building alliances, and ensuring survival in the harsh Arctic environment. It wasn't only about sharing material goods, but about sharing family connections as well. Historically, this tradition promoted social harmony and strengthened relationships between families or clans. It's important to approach this with an open mind and cultural sensitivity. In Inuit culture, marriage was seen as a communal matter, and wife swapping was considered a way to make sure everyone in the community was taken care of, and that relationships remained strong. While Greenland has become more modern in many ways, understanding these traditions helps us gain a unique insight into how the Inuit adapted to their environment and maintained their cultural identity. Number 3. U.S. interest in Greenland's strategic land or geopolitical gamble. Though Greenland may seem remote and isolated, it has been a key topic in global politics for years. The United States has had its eyes on Greenland for a long time. In 1947, President Harry Truman even offered Denmark $100 million to purchase it, recognizing its potential military value during the Cold War. Fast forward to 2019, and President Donald Trump made headlines by suggesting that the U.S. should buy Greenland. Although these attempts never came to fruition, they highlight Greenland's strategic importance on the global stage, especially as climate change makes the Arctic more accessible. Since World War II, the U.S. has maintained a military presence in Greenland, with Thule Air Base playing a crucial role in missile defense. However, Greenland isn't just about military value. It's part of the Kingdom of Denmark but operates with its own government, which makes the idea of a sale complicated. For those interested in moving to or investing in Greenland, understanding this geopolitical puzzle is essential. Its strategic location makes Greenland a focal point for international attention, and its future will likely be shaped by its natural resources and geopolitical significance. Number 4. Navigating Greenland's harsh conditions, from snow blindness to survival. Greenland isn't just cold, it's extreme. One major challenge is snow blindness, a painful condition caused by intense sunlight reflecting off the ice and snow. Imagine being in a place where, during summer, the sun doesn't set for up to 6 months. Constant exposure to ultraviolet rays can be brutal. With no roads connecting towns, most travel is done by boat or plane, often in difficult conditions. Surviving in Greenland requires much more than just warm clothing. The Inuit people have faced these challenges for centuries and even created their own snow goggles from bone or wood to protect their eyes from the sun's glare. If you're considering moving to or visiting Greenland, preparation is key. It's not only about enduring the cold, but also understanding how to navigate this challenging environment where everything, from the sun to the snow, can pose serious risks. Number 5. Greenland's extreme sports pushing the boundaries of endurance. If you love extreme sports, Greenland should be on your radar. The island is home to some of the most grueling races on the planet. One of the most famous is the Arctic Circle Race, a 3-day cross-country skiing competition. Participants cover up to 160 kilometers of icy and dangerous terrain, often in temperatures that drop below 20 degrees C. This race is not just about physical endurance but also mental strength, as competitors must camp in the harsh Arctic wilderness, cook their own meals, and face unpredictable weather conditions. Greenland also hosts one of the world's toughest marathons in Kangerlussuaq. Runners face a brutal course through rugged mountains and icy plains. Athletes from around the world come to take on these challenges, but they also serve as a reminder of how climate change is affecting Greenland's landscape. As the ice melts, the already challenging terrain becomes even more difficult. For thrill seekers, Greenland offers an adventure like no other, but it is definitely not for the faint-hearted. Number 6. The midnight sun, endless daylight. Imagine a place where the sun never sets. That's Greenland during the phenomenon known as the midnight sun. For up to 6 months in northern regions, the sun stays high in the sky, creating a surreal experience where night doesn't exist. This happens because of the tilt of the Earth's axis, which keeps the Arctic Circle pointed toward the sun during summer. In places like Kangerlussuaq, this constant daylight can be both stunning and challenging. Living under the midnight sun isn't always easy. The endless daylight can disrupt your sleep cycle and lead to something called seasonal affective disorder (SAD), a form of depression caused by an imbalance in your body's natural rhythms. However, many Greenlanders take advantage of this time to hunt, fish, and gather resources without the worry of the sun going down. If you plan to visit or live in Greenland, understanding how to cope with the midnight sun is important. It's one of the things that makes the island so unique. Number 7. The absence of roads, Greenland's transportation challenges. Although Greenland is the largest island in the world, it might surprise you that there are no roads connecting its towns. The landscape, made up mostly of ice and rocky terrain, makes building roads nearly impossible. On top of that, the extreme cold, heavy snowfall, and low population density would make constructing and maintaining roads very expensive. So, how do people travel? In summer, boats are the main form of transportation, while in winter, dog sleds are used. This lack of infrastructure creates unique challenges. If you want to visit a nearby village, you might have to take a boat across icy waters or fly, both of which depend heavily on the weather and can be costly. The isolation this creates affects daily life in many ways, from the availability of goods to emergency medical care. Without roads, Greenlanders must be incredibly self-reliant, depending on their skills and local resources. If you're thinking about visiting or living in Greenland, understanding these transportation challenges is key to preparing for life on this remote island. Number 8. Inuit culture, resilience in the Arctic. The Inuit people make up nearly 90% of Greenland's population, and their culture is deeply connected to the harsh Arctic environment. Their ancestors migrated from eastern Siberia to Greenland around the 13th century, adapting to one of the world's most unforgiving climates. This has shaped a culture that values sharing, cooperation, and a deep respect for the land. One of the most iconic symbols of Inuit culture is the igloo, a temporary shelter made of ice blocks, traditionally used during hunting trips or winter travel. What stands out about the Inuit is their incredible resilience. Their communal way of life, where sharing food, shelter, and resources is vital for survival, has enabled them to thrive in these extreme conditions. While modern conveniences have reached Greenland, many Inuits still practice traditional ways, such as hunting and fishing, which are essential for their survival. To truly understand Greenland, you must appreciate and respect Inuit culture. It offers a powerful example of how humans can adapt and thrive in the world's toughest environments. Greenlandic cuisine is a reflection of survival and tradition. When it comes to Greenlandic cuisine, survival and using the natural resources available are key. Traditional food here depends heavily on local ingredients, especially from the sea. Staples like seal, reindeer, and whale meat provide the nutrients needed to live in Greenland's cold climate. One of the most unique dishes is kiviak, made by fermenting seabirds inside a seal skin for several months. Though it might sound unusual, kiviak is a delicacy among the Inuit, prized for its distinct, rich flavor. Another favorite is suasat, a hearty stew made from reindeer or muskox meat, seasoned with herbs and spices. This dish is slow-cooked to tenderize the meat, creating a comforting meal perfect for Greenland's chilly weather. Hunting and fishing are not just about food, they are deeply connected to Greenlandic culture. These traditions have been passed down through generations, connecting the people to their land and heritage. While modern influences have entered Greenlandic cuisine, traditional dishes remain an important part of daily life, showcasing the resourcefulness and resilience that define this unique island. Polar bears and climate change's struggle for survival. Greenland is one of the last strongholds for one of the Arctic's most iconic animals, the polar bear. However, these majestic creatures are struggling to survive due to climate change. The sea ice they depend on for hunting seals, their main food source, is melting faster than ever. As the ice disappears, polar bears are forced to swim longer distances to find food, which leads to exhaustion and even drowning in some cases. In southeastern Greenland, some polar bears have adapted by hunting on freshwater ice from glaciers, but this is not widespread and cannot fully replace the loss of sea ice. Scientists warn that if the current trends continue, polar bear populations could drop by as much as 30% by 2050. This alarming situation has turned polar bears into a symbol of the broader environmental challenges facing the Arctic, underscoring the need for urgent action against climate change. For those visiting Greenland, seeing polar bears in their natural habitat is an unforgettable experience, but it also serves as a stark reminder of the fragile balance in the Arctic and the impact human activity is having on this delicate ecosystem. Greenland's melting ice, a global concern. Greenland's ice sheet is the second largest in the world, but it is shrinking at a worrying rate due to rising global temperatures. Each year, Greenland loses about 270 billion tons of ice, contributing significantly to global sea level rise. In fact, this ice loss accounts for about 30% to 35% of the total sea level increase, making it a major issue not only for Greenland but for the entire world. The melting ice is already causing serious problems, such as more frequent and severe natural disasters in coastal areas around the globe. The impact of Greenland's melting ice extends beyond its shores. As the ice melts, it exposes darker land and vegetation that absorb more sunlight, speeding up the warming process. This is known as the albedo effect. This creates a dangerous feedback loop that accelerates ice loss and worsens global warming. The 2024 melt season started earlier than in previous years, with higher melting rates signaling a troubling trend. For those considering a visit to Greenland, it is important to recognize the urgency of the climate crisis. The changing landscape is a powerful reminder of the need to address global warming to protect not only Greenland but the entire planet. Greenland's wildlife adaptation in the face of change. Greenland's wildlife is as diverse as it is resilient, with animals uniquely adapted to survive in one of the world's harshest environments. The island is home to iconic species like polar bears, reindeer, Arctic foxes, and seals, all of which have special adaptations that help them thrive in the extreme cold and food-scarce conditions of the Arctic. For example, polar bears have thick fur and layers of fat to keep them warm, while reindeer have wide hooves that help them move easily over snow and ice. Greenland's rich marine ecosystem also supports various whale species, including humpback and minke whales, as well as numerous seabirds that nest on the island's steep cliffs. However, as resilient as these animals are, they are increasingly threatened by climate change. The rising temperatures and melting ice are disrupting their habitats, posing new challenges for survival. The melting ice is reducing the living space for many species, while environmental pollution and overuse of natural resources add to their challenges. Despite these threats, the people of Greenland have a deep respect for their environment and are working hard to protect the island's unique wildlife. For those planning a trip to Greenland, seeing these animals in their natural habitat is one of the island's greatest attractions. It offers a rare look into the delicate balance of life in the Arctic and the incredible adaptations that allow these creatures to survive. Northeast Greenland's untamed wilderness, the largest national park in the world. Northeast Greenland National Park is not only the largest national park in the world, but also a vast and untouched wilderness that showcases Earth's raw and pristine beauty. Established in 1974 and expanded in 1988, this park covers nearly 1 million square kilometers, making it larger than many countries. It is a land of extremes, with 80% of the area covered in permanent ice, making it one of the coldest and most inhospitable places on the planet. However, during the short Arctic summer, the coastal regions come alive with migrating animals and blooming plants, adding vibrant colors to the icy world. The park is home to a variety of wildlife, including musk oxen, Arctic hares, and polar bears, all of which have adapted to survive in this challenging environment. It is also an important archaeological site, containing ancient Inuit cultural remains, such as tools and tent rings, that demonstrate how early humans survived in the Arctic. For adventurers looking to explore one of the last truly wild places on Earth, Northeast Greenland National Park is a must-see. Its vast, rugged landscapes and rich history offer a unique opportunity to experience nature in its most powerful and untouched form. Conclusion: Greenland, a land of mystery and survival. As we conclude our exploration of Greenland, it is clear that this giant island is full of contrasts, both in its environment and cultural practices. From its name, given by a Viking who wanted to attract settlers, to its unique Inuit traditions like wife swapping, Greenland is a place where survival has always been the focus. The harsh conditions, from snow blindness to the difficulties of traveling without roads, highlight the resilience of its people and the amazing adaptations they have made to live in such a tough environment. But Greenland is also a land of incredible beauty and wonder. Its wildlife, although threatened by climate change, continues to thrive in the island's icy landscapes. The extreme sports, the midnight sun, and the awe-inspiring Northeast Greenland National Park offer visitors something truly unique. As we look toward the future, it is important to remember that Greenland serves as a warning for the rest of the world when it comes to climate change. The melting ice and the struggles faced by its wildlife remind us of the urgent need for action. For those thinking about visiting this amazing island, Greenland is more than just an adventure. It is an opportunity to connect with the powerful forces of nature that shape our planet. Thank you for joining us on this captivating journey through Greenland here on Documentary Box. From its ancient traditions to its modern challenges, Greenland is truly a land of contrasts and mysteries. The dynamic relationships between men and women in Inuit culture offer a fascinating look at how humans adapt to their environment in ways that may seem unusual or even strange to outsiders, but these practices are part of what makes Greenland so unique. We would love to hear from you. What did you find most interesting about Greenland's cultural practices? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Documentary Box for more in-depth explorations of the world's most fascinating and lesser-known destinations. Until next time, keep exploring.